Hello and welcome back to your expert gamer, Mystic Games here. We are going to be doing a PDA read for Subnautica Below Zero. We're going to be starting with the Arctic Peeper. We're going to be using the aquarium to look around. In my Subnautica run through, I did full coral and flora as well. We're not going to be doing that. There's a bunch in the game, but there's none collectible. Oh, well, I shouldn't say anything. Most of the new stuff was, and I took pictures of a lot of it. I'm not going to take the time to go through and make like a shrine like I did in the first game. I'm just going to go through the fauna. So we're going to start with the peeper. It's a fast prey fish, camouflaged against the ice. Like the common peeper, it is fast and relatively intelligent, allowing it to survive in large numbers. Don't like the auto-generated name, suggest ice clops. I think peeper's better. So this is the peeper. I have plenty. Then we have the bladderfish. Let us locate the bladderfish. This unusual herbivore appears to be mostly defenseless, and it bears little resemblance to the other life forms around it. It is a semi-permeable bladder. The bladderfish is able to filter air and seawater into its body cavity through a unique membrane which surrounds its spine like a bladder. This allows it to remove and consume organic particulates caught on the way and adjust its buoyancy. Open-ended vascular tubing can be angled and contracted to pump out water and achieve low-velocity guided propulsion, largely oblivious to threats and particularly immobile at night. Its only identified defense mechanism is that it's composed almost entirely of water, air, and cartilage. So it's good for, obviously drinking, turning into water, and for air purposes. We're going to go this way and then we're going to backtrack. We'll do all the other floors probably from one side to another. So then here we have the boomerang fish. Ooh. The boomerang fish. Also, just so you guys know, in the pictures they have a threat level up here in the corner, upper right. Just want to make sure everyone knows that. And they do like little informational facts in the picture. A herbivore encountered in large numbers, found to frequent shallow waters and move in schools. It has serrated teeth for grinding corals and other herbivores. Usually the species' two fins are cartilaginous extensions of its skeleton. They are less prone to damage, provide superior this is actually, I feel like they just copied this PDA over from the first game. I don't feel like this is exactly from what I read in the first game. Because they are able to like break off part of their fin and then grow it back so that they can use it to get away from predators. Yeah, I feel like that's literally all the exact same thing for the boomerang fish from the... I don't think there's much of a... Ooh! That hoop fish just swam out of the tank. Now he just clipped back in. Only here on Mystic Games' channel can you see such glitches. That was the hoop fish. Small school mentality prey fish with a unique method of propulsion and distant relative of the bladderfish. Rather than swimming, this lifeform uses fine green antennae which encircle its body to alter the composition of the water in front of it, allowing it to sail in low-density space. Its purple and green coloration may be camouflage adaptation for mid-range light wavelengths, possibly indicating the hoopfish is more active at dawn and dusk. While schools of hoopfish will form periodically and evade predators en masse, this behavior is more social than defensive, and alone hoopfish are often found hunting for food and displaying generally curiosive behavior. The hoopfish is in the first Subnautica, and I believe that is the same PDA. This is a new fish, so it's going to have a new PDA. This is a carnivore. This is called a symbiote, similar to Venom from Marvel. It's a medium threat. A small, fast predator which nests inside the hull of the Titan holefish and defends them at all costs. Symbiotes feed mostly on overconfident predators which attack the Titan holefish. Expending huge energy reserves to move quickly and strike their targets, the symbiote is dependent on receiving additional warmth and oxygen from the Titan holefish. Symbiotes lay their eggs inside the gills of the Titan holefish. The waste left behind is absorbed by the Titan, constituting all the nutrients it needs to survive. Catch or neutralize to approach the Titan holefish. That's what they look like in the live flesh, or the computer-generated flesh that they have. Over here we have the spine fish. I wonder if this is the same as Subnautica. It's closely related to the hoop fish. It has a gray coloration. It's near translucent flesh with white rib-like markings. Gives the fish a deathly appearance. It takes advantage of this to avoid attention of predators. It moves in schools for protection, but will disperse and flee if necessary, whereon those fortunate enough to escape the gaze of their assailant will make for the sea floor and hide amongst the detritus. That might be the same as the first name. And that's what they look like. Alrighty here. Let's head over here. Sprint. Huh. This is where editing skills would be helpful, guys. So here we have the spinning fish, I want to say, the spinner fish. That's a weird angle to look at it from. A bizarre fish with a star-like fins, which it spins to generate propulsion, capable of very high speeds in a straight line, slow, wide turning circle. Like other small prey fish, they feed on a variety of seeds and grasses among the seabeds. They are spinning. This is our tripod, I believe it's called. It's 3 eyes. Triops, sorry. Like a cyclops, get it? Except it has 3 eyes. An effective bottom feeder with an unusual tripoptical vision. Mouth parts on the underside hover up and crunch down on small invertebrates on the sea floor. Spending much of its time hiding from predators above it, it is camouflaged to blend in with surrounding terrain when necessary. Forward-facing eyes are unusual in prey creatures, not least 3 of them. Each eye, however, is angled slightly outwards, which gives the triops a view of almost 240 degrees. Careful use of this powerful facility is likely what kept the triops alive to this date. So it's able to see a lot more than it should, even though it has forward-facing eyes. Featherfish, which is new to below 0. The featherfish is a common species that lives in various biomes. Its coloring is distinctive, but also functional. The bright white on the belly of the fish helps keep it safe from predators below, blending in with sunlight coming through the surface of the water. That's what he looks like. Ooh. Then we have the red featherfish. The red featherfish is a deep water variant of the more common featherfish. Its coloring helps it blend into the deeper and darker waters where there is less red light penetration. As a result, red and black fish are less visible to predators. Just so you guys know, the orange ring is just like a thing to help me see, because I know you guys can see that. It's not actually the fish doing that. As you can see, it's on my exit lid too. So for anyone that hasn't really seen my base, this is what it looks like. I have 3 layers of aquariums, and then I do have a usable bed of flora, and then there's 2 of the flora from the first game that are plantable, but I didn't find any more that was plantable, so that's why we're not doing a flora guide in this. Alright, this is the arrow ray fish. You guys are learning this for the first time along with me, because I never read these. A relatively small ray species capable of fast evasive maneuvers, feeds on plankton. The fins on its head form an isolysis triangle. I know I just butchered that. Which it can tilt to perform fast and unpredictable maneuvers. Sharp forward fin tips are capable of spearing attackers who manage to catch up. Yet they are mostly harmless. I mean, I feel like out of all the ones I've read about, this is probably the most dangerous. I wouldn't say it's mostly harmless. I think this is the discus fish. This thing looks super weird. Yeah. A colorful small fish with a laterally compressed body, the discus generally survives off algae or other plant materials. They also serve as nutritious prey for many other larger or quicker members of the ecosystem. Despite their colorful appearance and the lack of real defense mechanisms, they survive mostly by the virtue of their relative agility and a tendency to favor narrow crevices and other catastrophic environments. And I think that's all of our tiny fish. They have like an eye. He's just looking at me. Alright. Oh, no, we still have the newt fish, but this is a carnivore. I forgot there are just carnivores in this that are fish that you can grab. They open up their mouth to eat smaller fish like the whole fish. Wait. Did I read the whole... Do I have the whole fish captured? Are they in this game? Am I losing my mind? Or did I just never captured those? Because I feel like they exist in this game. Hold on a second. Before I continue, I just want to make sure. No, they must not be. That's interesting that they show the newt fish eating it, though. Alright. Or I just never grabbed it. A small predator which eliminates the need to overcome its prey by simply swallowing it whole. It opens up its mouth so wide it can just eat it in a bite. With its colorful markings, the newt fish can easily pass for a small herbivore, allowing it to sneak up on its prey. What looks like a beak is in fact single, stretchy, extended lips lined with barbed teeth. Once within reach, it envelops its prey, drawing it inside its stomach before retreating for several weeks to digest its meal. Ugh. That's unpleasant. You can watch them eat in the wild, too. And here we have a bunch of rock grubs. You couldn't capture those and put them in a tank in the first game, by the way, just saying. A small, luminescent scavenger, roughly thumb-sized. This creature may be a distant relative of the sand shark, sharing the species' unusual limbs, segmented exoskeleton, and burrowing behaviors. Thing's creepy looking. Jaw. Its circular set of teeth is designed to tear up clumps of coral and seagrass caught on the rocks. 5 legs, 2 arms, and large flippers allow the rock glove to cling and walk along across rock faces in search of food and swiftly swim to safety under attack. They're luminescent green. Glowing in the dark would seem like a poor survival strategy, but this adaptation may be a mating behavior or other specialized process engaged by only a fraction of the total population at any one time, or perhaps being eaten is simply part of the rock grub's life cycle. That would actually be interesting if they were like a parasite and they need to be eaten to like reproduce or something. There are actual animals and stuff in real life that kind of do that. These are crash fish. Did I never scan a crash fish? Let me make sure. Nope, I never scanned them. There we go. Crash fish. The unusual species has developed an emergency defense mechanism based on mutually assured destruction. It has forward-mounted eyes and enables the creature to identify and track potential predators. It lives in the sulfur plant and has evolved to feed on the sulfuric compound secreted by the crash fish, which makes its nest within its leaves. Stronger, more protective plants provide superior nesting grounds, which in turn provide the plant with more nutrition from the larger crash fish. It builds up sulfur in the organism over time, and the crash fish collides with something at sufficient speed. The spikes on its torso are impacted, triggering an explosive chemical reaction. Equip stasis rifle, repulsion cannon, or similar before approaching shallow caves. So this is definitely taken from the first game because the stasis rifle is no longer available. Shame on you, Subnautica. I like my stasis rifle. Here we have sea monkeys. There we are. A medium-sized and intelligent herbivore which shows great interest in other life forms and their possessions. More research is needed to understand this life form and its behavior. It has 2 finger-like appendages on each forearm and are tipped with suction pads for basic object manipulation. Its large turquoise crest is made of rigid bone, is possibly used to ram, although this has not been observed. Sea monkeys roam the ocean almost playfully, largely fearless of predators, seen to form small nests where they hoard objects of interest. For unknown purposes. Investigate with caution. These guys gave me lots of gifts. And then these are the pinacard, I want to say they're called. Pinacirid. An intelligent and curious creature which hunts and forages below the waterline, but returns to the surface to breathe. Its many flippers make this an acrobatic hunter underwater, but vulnerable on land, where it is capable at best of fast shuffling. Generally consumes small fish. Its diet may also include various plant materials. Side-facing eyes, unusual for a predator. These likely serve as a defense warning system. Purple-tinted antennae on the head detect the movement of prey fish nearby, and it shows no aggression to humans, even curiosity if there's chance of a meal. They're pretty friendly. They just must realize you probably don't want to mess with humans because they're about... Oh, there's another one swimming outside the tank. Arctic rays, guys. Learn about some Arctic rays. Interesting looking creature. A fast-moving ray species, well adapted to low-temperature environments. 2 sets of wings, like fins, enable this ray to quickly change direction and accelerate. Like other rays, it is exclusively a herbivorous, harmless. Now, have we seen a ray in any game that is not a herbivore? Because that would be interesting for a game that one of them evolved to be a carnivore. Just saying. Now we have the brine wing here, which is a carnivore that can shoot you with ice. It's a medium-sized predator known to spit super cold salt water to freeze its prey from afar. A large bladder on the brine wing's underside fills the seawater as it swims. Some water is filtered out through an internal membrane, leaving behind a strong saline solution. 2 flat, transparent, extendable fins act as radiators, releasing heat and cooling the bladder's contents. The brine wing can then contract its bladder, expelling the supercooled brine and freezing the seawater up to several meters away from it. While warm-blooded, lifeforms may suffer minor injuries on contact with the brine. It is not cold enough to freeze most vertebrates. The real danger is being helplessly encased in a block of ice, sinking ever closer towards the brine wing's jaws. Beware of a full bladder. That's what they look like. Then we have the penguin. That's the baby. Young penguins which are called penguins, tend to huddle on dry land awaiting their next meal, consume almost exclusively fish that are regurgitated by the adult. They stay to the center of the huddle to stay warm and out of the wind. If separated from the huddle, the adults will become agitated and begin searching for their young penguins. So please don't do this. A bird-like creature. Yeah, their mouths are really weird. A bird-like creature hunts small fish below the water, huddles in packs on the ice above, consumes all small prey fish, and regurgitates them to the young. Retractable tail and claws allow for fast evasion of predators underwater and a maximum grip on the ice. They have sharp teeth concealed inside the beak that can tear chunks out of aggressors and prey alike. Huddles in packs on the surface for protection against the cold. Less cuddly than they look. Yeah, they're pretty gruesome looking when they open their mouths, to be honest. And that's the end of that floor. Godzilla is gone. Go to the next. Those are hoopfish. Eye jellies, I believe these are. The eye jelly resides in deep waters, is made of 3 distinctive body sections: tentacles, the main body, and the bell. The end tentacles are covered in bioluminescent nodes which attract prey. When tentacles are touched, they emit a shock through a specialized cell called syndocytes. Within these cells are venomous harpoon-like structures called pneumatocysts, which are triggered by touch. The eye jellies gently drift with little locomotion, though they can track movement with their large singular eye. And this is what they look like. They have kind of an eye on top. You know, that's the name. We have our Titan holefish here. A large docile herbivore which emits oxygen and is defended by the small aggressive symbiotes which accompany them. Slow, stupid, and delicious. Okay. Complex gills line the inside of the hole, drawing cold water in, emitting warm, oxygen-rich water in its place. It attracts symbiotes which make the holefish their home and fiercely ward off approaching life forms. Migrates more or less at random, feeding from nutrients deposited by symbiotes. The Titan holefish has evolved entirely beyond basic survival mechanisms like speed, intelligence, or hunting. It exists in a semi-permanent state of unreflective calm, swimming forward on impulse, fully trusting the complex ecosystem which supports it. Valuable oxygen source if you can reach it. So these would die in captivity because they want to eat. I'd have to put symbiotes in here for them to survive, essentially. We have our brute sharks here. They are very brutish. Look at them. A common shark-like predator with low intelligence, his relatively streamlined body enables fast navigation of tight spaces. Its yellow and turquoise coloration provides camouflage in shallow waters. It's slow-moving and ambushes small fish from above. It's a minor threat. These guys are like similar to the hypnotic fish in the first game. Called lily paddlers. Medium herbivore with an elongated bifurcated torso and multiple bioluminescent adornments. I'm actually surprised this doesn't have a higher threat level because it does disorient you. Slow and vulnerable to attack, long arms for seed foraging on the ocean floor. An array of feather-like appendages display varied colors in low-light conditions. When threatened, the paddler emits a pheromonal defense that disrupts higher-order brain functions in certain species. At night, the paddler's illuminated plumage looks like a small school of fish, perhaps convincing predators are not worth the chase. Dangerous in unfamiliar environments. Yes, that is true. Approach with caution. And then we have the yellow Trivolia, I want to say they're called. I think I might have just butchered that name. Or Trivola Gold. This is a brightly colored creature with a flexible exoskeleton covering most of its body. It is a naturally inquisitive creature and is capable of bonding with human companions. They have a mental capacity to learn simple commands and tricks. They also have unique capacity to just demonstrate emotions. Whether this is a form of events mimicry or an actual demonstration of feeling is unknown. Ooh, he's doing like a spin. We don't have these ones. This is the blue version. The Trivivalve is a brightly colored creature with a flexible exoskeleton covering most of its body. It is a naturally inquisitive creature capable of bonding with a human companion. They have mental capacity to learn simple tricks. They also have unique ability to demonstrate emotion. So essentially it's the same as the last one, just different coloration. I think these are supposed to be like the little octopus friend you have in the first game. Alright, we have some squid sharks here. Can't see them open their beautiful mouths. And by beautiful, I mean horrific. You can in the picture, though. Mmm, delicious. It's a Leviathan-class predator at the smaller end of the scale with complex squid-like adaptation which allow it to hunt a wide range of prey. It expels swallowed seawater through vents on either side of its body, providing slow and steady jet propulsion or terrifying bursts of speed. An internal jaw can be extended and clamped down around small prey, dragging them inside its mouth. Two blue electrified tentacles drag beneath its body, used to perform hit-and-run attacks on larger, slower targets, subduing them over time. Oh, I didn't even realize those were electrical. Those little appendages there electrocute you, apparently. We have glow whales here. Very big and running into the wall. I would like in the next game to be able to get all the leviathans and have bigger tanks. I would like there to be an option to like do a double tank and then have like a little Chelricerite or whatever in it. Just saying. Did I never... I scanned this. Is it considered a carnivore? Oh, it's a... Yeah, it's a leviathan, duh. Glow whales are communal leviathans approximately 30 meters long, often found swimming in open ocean and occasionally breaching the surface. Photophores glow whales contain several types of bioluminescence. Perhaps the most noteworthy are their photophores, which are incandescent glandular organs found at the corners of their eyes and the pods at the tip of their sail-like fins. They have glow horns. The glow whale's blue horns behave similarly to tuning forks. The horn receives waves of sound and water and help glow whales identify members of their pod from a distance. This ability is also used in hunting shoals to determine positioning of potential food sources. When pods of whales are at play, they emit a harmonious series of notes that resonate in their horns and release a series of chemicals that appears to create a joyful response in nearby whales. This note frequency is too high to be heard by human ears. They are passive in harbors, barnacles, and algae. So you might actually be able to collect off these things. I never even tried that. We have our rock punchers here. Look like little lobsters or crayfish. No, they do look like that. I thought mine looked different, but they're just smaller. A large crustacean which feeds on tiny larvae from coral and rock with its powerful punching arms, attracted to the glow larvae found in around deep-sea rock formations. Hardened chitin claws can thrust forward at close to speed of sound to break rock and bone alike, known to attack larger creatures which threaten its territory. Perfectly adapted to cave environments, its 6 legs adhere to walls and it can propel in short distances through the water. Heavily armored, vulnerable only to Leviathan-class predators. Avoid or redirect with food. They're pretty much like crayfish. That's what they remind me of. And then we have our Godzilla. The Cryptosuchius. The Cryptosuchius is a large shark-like beast and easily identified by its carapace of thin bony plates. These plates are defensive bony structures that aid in heat absorption among thermal vents. It propels itself with a wide web flipper that displays massive amounts of water. The Cryptosuchius is a bit of a contradictory creature. Despite its fearsome appearance, it is more roar than its bite. While territorial, the Godzilla tends to retreat from confrontations after being attacked once. This is likely a form of agnostic posturing. Aggressive fauna tend to avoid fights if the probability of injury is too high. So it doesn't want to fight you, pretty much. So that's it for the things I was able to capture. We're just going to quickly go through all the ones that are uncapturable. We have a snow stalker. The snow stalker is a bear-like evolutionary offshoot of the aquatic stalker, native to the warmer aquatic biomes of 45-46b, which you see in the first game. It's like a different evolutionary path. Snow stalkers are typically apex predators in their biomes. They operate in packs and are primarily land-based creatures, but will enter the water to hunt and defend territory. Notable physical features. Thick, hollow fur that secretes a thin layer of oil helps keep the snow stalker warm. Modified dorsal fin aid in aquatic hunting. It has bioluminescence on its tongue and tail, help the pack stay together during winter storms. Assessment. Avoid if entering snow stalker territory is necessary. Sources of bright light and unpredictable noises have been shown to deter their attacks. So flares. The spiky trap. that blends in with its territory. This is highly dangerous carnivorous life form managed to thrive in certain environments in spite of lack of mobility. It quietly blends into terrain, camouflaging itself among similar-looking coral. When prey accidentally stumbles into its area, the creature will quickly lash out with its strength adhesive tentacles and attempt to pull it into its thorny, gaping mouth. It can be deadly to oblivious explorers. Pay attention to your environment when these creatures are present, watching and listening carefully for signs of attack. I intentionally got grabbed once to take a picture. The hive mind. The hive mind are never alone and grow in massive clusters. They are physically connected by a root system which sends out chemical signals in the presence of large predators. The signal activates a chemical reaction with its green porous membrane, resulting in a visible change of color, which turns purple. The action has two effects: the uniform change in color grants the hive mind the appearance of one large interconnected organism. This is a form of camouflage, cause disruptive coloration, which is confusing to predators, and smaller sea creatures confuse the change in color for sunlight and are drawn towards the cluster. But it says they're herbivores, so that doesn't really help them drawing things closer. Unless you're using that to attract them to get killed by carnivores. Sea monkey nest, we're not going to read that. It's just the sea monkeys live in sea monkey nests. And then the sky ray. It has this bird-like head. It has feathered wings which enable it to fly. Sky rays are found commonly among floating structures and rarely venture far out to the sea. They will perch on land, but are prone to flee on approach. Although its wings give some resemblance to silhouette to the waterborne rays on 45-46b, analysis shows no greater genetic overlap with those species than planetary average. In fact, the sky ray appears to have split off from the evolutionary tree much earlier than most. It mostly eats seeds, and it dives for food if it needs to. Or they have not observed it dying, but they believe it needs land to survive. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. We have the vent garden. We'll do them real quick. We have the juveniles, which I see all the time. Actually, we might be able to see them right now. They swim over my base a lot. But not right now, obviously, because I'm doing this video, so why would they be here? I literally put that on to see them float over my base. So the juveniles do not attach to the ground. The adults do. That's the big difference, but we'll read here. Roughly 20 meters long, the juvenile vent garden represents the immature life stage of the fully grown one. The gentle giant appears to swim in aimlessly looping circles around the larger ones. While their swimming can seem directionless at first glance, the young vent garden is actively growing and strengthening its tentacles for when it finds a vent upon which it anchors and matures. The bell of the juvenile vent garden remains sealed until it anchors over a vent. Once anchored, the heat and pressure activate a cluster of latent stem cells that develop into an opening over the course of a few months. It's not a threat. Now, the big vent garden is a stationary leviathan that anchors itself above the thermal vents and houses aquatic flora inside its bell-shaped interior. Anchoring tentacles, 6 tentacles anchor the vent to the ground. Each tentacle is capped with a thick layer of curved spikes that grow downwards, keeping the vent garden in place. It has a transparent bell. The hollow bell the vent garden has allowed opening large enough to accommodate human entry. The vent garden feeds on bacteria and other organisms that spew from the vent below. The top of the bell also has an opening that continuously releases water to maintain consistent internal pressure. It has a symbiotic relationship. The bell houses 6 branching platforms that resemble coral. These platforms contain flora that remain safe from foraging herbivores. In turn, the flora absorb and synthesize heavy metals and gases emitted by the vents below. So it helps things. And then we have Hope, which I believe Alan thought Hope was an actual animal, and therefore it was added to the database, which is weird because he's not in the PDA. Well, I'll let you guys look at that one real quick. And yeah, that's where I'm going to end the video. I didn't scan everything in this game like I did in the first. We're missing the Chalricerite, and we're missing the Shadow Leviathan. I believe that's it. I think I got everything else. I captured what I could. So that's the end. I hope you guys enjoyed the PDA read. It was obviously focused on the fauna. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I appreciate you guys joining me on this, like, adventure. This will probably be, like, my last video of the actual game. I'll probably do some discussion on what I want to see in the third game at this point, now that I've replayed both. I do really enjoy these games. My big critique of this one was that it was very story-based. And I think some of the story is just... The first game I thought was really cool because you could put yourself in the eyes, you know, in the shoes of the survivor. And there's the Chalricerite out there, by the way. He's just swimming around, so you guys can see him in the distance over there. I felt like this one was less about me being in the situation, more about this person, which I'm not a big fan of that direction in a way. I do like the Alan story. I didn't really like the sister story as much. I mean, she died nobly trying to stop the bacteria being turned into a bioweapon, essentially, like freaking, what's it called, oh my god, Resident Evil, right? Like Umbrella trying to make a bioweapon. Except this is already a disease that they had. They didn't have to manufacture it like the T-virus, right? But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for joining me. Like, subscribe if you guys are enjoying content. I'm probably going to play Pal World next. Survival game, similar. Not similar, I shouldn't say it's similar, but it's a survival game, and I'm probably going to try to do like a survival game on the channel, and then probably something else at the same time. I'm also considering Hollow Knight. Alright guys, have a good one. Later. Mystic Games out.